That's where I draw the line.
This is absolutely no doubt.
Thank you for coming, though. It's great to do the part 3, and thank you for being here.
Yes,
but I won't sit here and take your propaganda.
Let's talk about reality.
Next week on the Diary of a CEO, we've got Elon Musk.
Okay, so who here wants to make a bet that Stephen Bartlett will be interviewing an AI within the next 2 years?
Oh, well, actually, to be fair, I actually did go to ChatGPT because I thought, having you here, I thought at least give it its chance to respond.
Yeah.
So I asked it a couple of questions.
About me?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So today I'm actually going to be replaced by ChatGPT because I thought, you're going to talk about it. So we need a fair and balanced debate.
Okay.
So I went and asked it a couple of questions.
He's bold.
So I'll ask you a couple of questions that ChatGPT has for you.
Incredible. So let's follow that
So I've
thread.
already been replaced.
Let's follow that thread for a second. Yeah. Okay. Because you're one of the smartest people I know.
That's not true.
It is.
But I'll take it.
It is true. I mean, I say that publicly all the time. Your book is one of my favorite books of all time. You're very, 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 very intelligent. Okay? Depth, breadth, intellectual horsepower, and speed. All of them.
There's a but coming.
The reality, it's not a but. So it is highly expected that you're ahead of this curve. And then you don't have the choice, Stephen. This is the thing. The thing is, So I'm in that existential question in my head, because one thing I could do is I could literally I normally do a 40 days silent retreat in summer, okay? I could take that retreat and write 2 books, me and ChatGPT, right? I have the ideas in mind. I wanted to write a book about digital detoxing, right? I have most of the ideas in mind, but writing takes time. I could simply give the 50 tips that I wrote about digital detoxing to ChatGPT and say, write 2 pages about each of them, edit the pages, and have a book out, okay? Many of us will follow that path, okay? The only reason why I may not follow that path is because, you know what? I'm not interested. I'm not interested to continue to compete in this capitalist world, if you want, okay? I'm not. I mean, as a human, I've made up my mind a long time ago that I will want less and less and less in my life, right? But many of us will follow. I mean, I would worry if you didn't include the smartest AI. If we get an AI out there that is extremely intelligent and able to teach us something, and Stephen Bartlett didn't include her on his podcast, I would worry. Like, you have a duty almost to include her on your podcast. It's an inevitable that we will engage them in our life more and more. This is one side of this. The other side, of course, is if you do that, then what will remain? Because a lot of people ask me that question. What will happen to jobs? Okay? What will happen to us? Will we have any value, any relevance whatsoever? Okay? The truth of the matter is the only thing that will remain in the medium term is human connection. Okay? The only thing that will not be replaced is Drake on stage. Okay? Is me in a...
Do you think?
Hologram?
I think of that Tupac gig they did at Coachella where they used the hologram of Tupac. I actually played it the other day to my girlfriend when I was making a point, and I was like, that was...
Circus act.
It was amazing though.
Amazing, yeah.
Have you seen what's going on with ABBA in London?
Yeah. And Cirque du Soleil had Michael Jackson in one for a very long time. Yeah, I mean...
So this ABBA show in London, from what I understand, that's all holograms on stage.
Correct.
And it's going to run in a purpose-built arena for 10 years, and it is incredible.
It really is.
So you go, why do you need Drake?
Great
if that
question.
hologram is indistinguishable from Drake, and it can perform even better than Drake, and it's got more energy than Drake, and it's, I go, why do you need Drake to even be there? I can go to a Drake show without Drake, cheaper. I might not even need to leave my house. I could just put a headset on.
Correct. Can you have this?
What's the value of this to the
come
listener?
on, you hurt me.
No,
Ouch.
I mean, I get it to us. But I'm saying, what's the value of this to the listener? Like, the value of this to the listener is the information, right?
No, 100%. I mean, think of the automobile industry. There was a time where cars were made, handmade and handcrafted and luxurious and so on and so forth. And then, Japan went into the scene, completely disrupted the market. Cars were made in mass quantities at a much cheaper price. And yes, 90% of the cars in the world today, or maybe a lot more, I don't know the number, are no longer, emotional items. Okay, they're functional items. There is still, however, every now and then, someone that will buy a car that has been handcrafted, and right? There is a place for that. There is a place for, if you go walk around hotels, the walls are blasted with sort of mass-produced art, okay? But there is still a place for an artist expression of something amazing, okay? My feeling is that there will continue to be a tiny space, as I said in the beginning. Maybe in 5 years' time, one or two people will buy my next book and say, hey, it's written by a human. Look at that. Wonderful. Oh, look at that. There is a typo in here. Okay. I don't know. There might be a very, very big place for me in the next few years where I can sort of show up and talk to humans. Like, hey, let's get together in a small event. And then, I can express emotions and my personal experiences. And you sort of know that this is a human talking. You'll miss that a little bit. Eventually, the majority of the market is going to be like cars. It's going to be mass-produced, very cheap, very efficient. It works, right?
Because I think sometimes we underestimate what human beings actually want in an experience. I remember this story of a friend of mine that came to my office many years ago, and he tells the story of the CEO of a record store standing above the floor and saying, people will always come to my store because people love music. Now, on the surface of it, his hypothesis seems to be true because people do love music. It's conceivable to believe that people will always love music, but they don't love traveling for an hour in the rain and getting in a car to get a plastic disc.
Correct.
What they wanted was music. What they didn't want is evidently plastic discs that they had to travel for miles for. And I think about that when we think about like public speaking and the Drake show and all of these things. Like what people actually are coming for, even with this podcast, is probably like information. But do they really need us anymore for that information when there's going to be a sentient being that's significantly smarter than at least me and a little bit smarter than you? So,
so kind. So you're spot on. You are spot on. And actually, this is the reason why I'm so grateful that you're hosting this, because the truth is the genie's out of the bottle. Okay. So, people tell me, is AI game over? For our way of life, it is. Okay, for everything we've known, this is a very disruptive moment where maybe not tomorrow, but in the near future, our way of life will differ. Okay, what will happen? What I'm asking people to do is to start considering what that means to your life. What I'm asking governments to do, like I'm screaming, is don't wait until the first patient. Start doing something about. We're about to see mass job losses. We're about to see, replacements of categories of jobs at large. Okay, yeah, it may take a year, it may take 7. It doesn't matter how long it takes, but it's about to happen. Are you ready? And I have a very, very clear call to action for governments. I'm saying tax AI powered businesses at 98%, right? So suddenly you do what the open letter was trying to do, slow them down a little bit, and at the same time, get enough money to pay for all of those people that will be disrupted by the technology, right?
The open letter, for anybody that doesn't know, was a letter signed by the likes of Elon Musk and a lot of sort of industry leaders calling for AI to be stopped until we could basically figure out what the hell's going on.
Absolutely.
And put legislation in place. You're saying tax those companies 98%, give the money to the humans that are going to be displaced.
Or give the money to other humans that can build control code, that can figure out how we can stay safe.
This sounds like an emergency.
How do I say this? You remember when you played Tetris?
Yeah.
Okay. When you were playing Tetris, there was always one block that you placed wrong, and once you placed that block wrong, the game was no longer easier. It started to gather a few mistakes afterwards, and it starts to become quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. When you placed that block wrong, you sort of told yourself, okay, it's a matter of minutes now, right? There were still minutes to go and play and have fun before the game ended, but you knew it was about to end, okay? This is the moment. We've placed the wrong, and I really don't know how to say this any other way. It even makes me emotional. We fucked up. We always said, don't put them on the open internet. Don't teach them to code, and don't have agents working with them until we know what we're putting out in the world, until we find a way to make certain that they have our best interest in mind.
Why does it make you emotional?
Because humanity's stupidity is affecting people who have not done anything wrong. Our greed is affecting the innocent ones. The reality of the matter, Stephen, is that this is an arms race. Has no interest in what the average human gets out of it. It is all about every line of code being written in AI today is to beat the other guy. It's not to improve the life of the third party. People will tell you this is all for you. And you look at the reactions of humans to AI. I mean, we're either ignorant, people who will tell you, oh, no, this is not happening. AI will never be creative. They will never compose music. Like, where are you living? Okay. Then you have the kids, I call them, where, all over social media, it's like, oh my God, it squeaks. Look at it. It's orange in color. Amazing. I can't believe that AI can do this. We have snake oil salesmen, okay, which are simply saying, copy this, put it in ChatGPT, then go to YouTube, nick that thingy, don't respect copyright of anyone or intellectual property of anyone, place it in a video, and now you're going to make $100 a day. Snake oil salesman, okay? Of course, we have dystopian evangelists, basically people saying this is it, the world is going to end, which I don't think is reality. It's a singularity. You have utopian evangelists that are telling everyone, oh, you don't understand, we're going to cure cancer, we're going to do this. Again, not a reality, okay? And you have very few people that are actually saying, what are we going to do about it? And the biggest challenge, if you ask me, what went wrong in the 20th century, interestingly, is that we have given too much power to people that didn't assume the responsibility. So, I don't remember who originally said it, but of course, Spider-Man made it very famous. With great power comes great responsibility. We have disconnected power and responsibility. So today, a 15-year-old, emotional, without a fully developed prefrontal cortex to make the right decisions yet, this is science. We developed our prefrontal cortex fully at age 25 or so. With all of that limbic system, emotion and passion, would buy a CRISPR kit and modify a rabbit to become a little more muscular and let it loose in the wild. Or an influencer who doesn't really know how far the impact of what they're posting online can hurt or cause depression or cause people to feel bad, okay? And putting that online, there is a disconnect between the power and the responsibility. And the problem we have today is that there is a disconnect between those who are writing the code of AI and the responsibility of what's about to happen because of that code. Okay, I feel compassion for the rest of the world. I feel that this is wrong. I feel that for someone's life to be affected by the actions of others without having a say in how those actions should be is the ultimate, the top level of stupidity from humanity.